A, the GoDaddy mailing method. This method surfaced on Black Hat World about 3 or 4 years ago, and for one reason or another, I don't think it actually had anything to do directly with the mailer, but there was a change of ownership, and there were some issues around the email marketing section within Black Hat World, so the methods more or less got lost. So what we're going to talk about in this video is what's required, how many emails you can actually send, and how to set it up. So in a nutshell, before I get into that, the GoDaddy mailing method is a way to use a mailer, a way to send emails through GoDaddy servers without the use of proxies or email accounts that you would buy. So you wouldn't buy like 1,000 Gmail accounts and mail through them. You would actually email directly through GoDaddy, through email accounts that you create for free, through a domain that you get. So what you're going to need is a domain name. It could be any cheap domain name, .info, it doesn't really matter. You're going to need a hosting account with GoDaddy. And you're also going to need some sort of SMTP mailer. So DP Mailer, Mailer King, I'll provide some sort of, you know what, I'll do one even better. In a subsequent video, I'll include a script that you can drop onto the server and mail directly through. So if you've got this video and you're watching it online, there's probably a script that's going to accompany it. I'll make sure that we can do that. So domain name should be pretty simple. And what you want to do is don't order the domain through GoDaddy. Order it at a internet.bs, some other place, because you want to keep those separate. And the idea is that if there are any complaints to the domain name, it doesn't get back to GoDaddy because it wasn't purchased through GoDaddy. The hosting account, let's have a look here and look at GoDaddy's hosting plans. Okay, so I just typed in GoDaddy hosting in Google. And you can see here that the first plan, the economy plan, has 100 email addresses. So before we go any further, let's see how many emails or what kind of limits GoDaddy has for this plan. And I've already researched this before, but just for your own peace of mind, I'm just going to walk you through step by step here and show you exactly. So we can see here SMTP relays let you send emails through our servers using third-party clients. We limit our email accounts to 250 SMTP relays per day. This lets you send 250 emails from your email address on a daily basis. Now, that being said, if you have 100 email accounts in which each of those you can send 250 emails, you can theoretically send 25,000 emails out per day through this method. Now, that may not sound like a lot to some people, but if you look at the cost, I mean, what's a domain going to cost? I can't see you spending more than $5 for any .info domain. We looked at the economy. I believe it was not $299. $299. So for under $10, you can have one system. This assumes that you have an SMTP mailer, but I'm also going to include that too, and I'll show you how to install it and run it with this in a subsequent video, and that's all going to be included for free as per the course. So now that we know that, we're going to jump ahead to how to set it up. Now I'm going to assume you know how to log into where you purchased your domain and point it to GoDaddy's server for hosting. There is a bit of a wait period there. It's a process called propagation. It can take theoretically up to 2 days, but generally speaking, it's quite quick. I've seen it as quick as 20 minutes. So the best way to check is, if you're familiar with FTP, drop in a file once you get the hosting, and after you point the domain that you purchased to GoDaddy's hosting, drop a file in there and just refresh the page or refresh the domain and see if that file shows up. You don't even have to drop a file in. You can just go to the domain, and by default, GoDaddy will have some sort of default sales page. I'm sure you've seen them. This is very simple stuff. You can call GoDaddy to help you walk you through this process. So connect domain to hosting. This is obviously after you've purchased a domain and purchased a GoDaddy hosting account. Once you have that connected, you're going to log into your GoDaddy account, and you're going to click on email, and you're going to click on, there'll be only one plan, and we see a few things here, but there should only be one. You're going to click on launch here on the right hand side. It's going to open up another tab, and it's going to give you a pop-up trying to upsell something else. And you can see I've got a few email accounts here right now, so I will just politely try and scroll that over. It's not letting me, so I guess I'll have to blur this out. Okay, so I have 3, and there is a way right here. You can see in this button here, create many. That's the first button you'll want to click. You will see a pop-up window pop up, and what you're going to want to do is paste a bunch of names here. Now, the easiest way to find names is Google. So I'm going to Google list of common names. And here we see we've got something on Wikipedia. Just so that everybody can see it sort of step by step, I haven't pre-populated names. I haven't thought about, which website is going to be the best one. So, if it takes an extra 5 or 10 minutes to go through this video, I think it's going to be beneficial because people can actually see the steps that I'm going through. So I'm going to try this one here for baby names, and no, that's not going to work for our purposes. What we want is something that we can just highlight and grab. Surprised I'm getting a bunch of baby names popping up here. Well, let me try searching something, changing my search here a bit. Let's try common names list. Obviously I've got names here, but what I'm trying to find is a list where I can simply copy and paste. Maybe I will click on Wikipedia. This is what I want. Okay, so I've got a list of names here. I can simply copy and paste this right into this area here. However, I believe GoDaddy has a 50 name limit. Or is it 50? I believe you can only put in 50 at a time. So what I'm going to do is just open up my Dreamweaver here, and you can do this in Microsoft Word. I imagine it should show you the number. Actually, I don't think it will, unfortunately. So once you have your list, you can paste it right into this box here and click OK. Oh, sorry about that. Somebody's texting me here while I'm trying to make a video. And you'll notice I didn't put any domain after it, and GoDaddy automatically appended the @ symbol. So the domain is going to obviously be the domain that you're pointing to GoDaddy servers. So I will plug in mine. You can give a common password for all of them. That's what I'm going to do here. Agree to the terms and conditions and click Create. See, it only says 25 at a time. I wasn't sure if it was 25 or 50. No problem. It's easier for me to just exit out of this screen and click Create again. So go back to Dreamweaver. I will try and find a way to get a copy of this to you guys. It's a very cool program. As you can see right here, I've got the number 25. I can see exactly what's in my list here, but that's a bare minimum of what this program is capable of. It's a tool for web development, and if you're going to be using some of the scripts that I will be posting, then using it through Dreamweaver would make things much easier. It highlights code. It's it's tuned for developers or programmers, I guess we could say. You could say. I could say. Okay, so I think I've got 25 here now. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and you can see that they have populated in this box, and I have to enter in my domain in here again. And then we have to go over and type in a password, which actually surprisingly makes things quite convenient if you've got the same password over and over again. All right, let's try this again. Click OK. Loading, loading, loading. And it looks like we've got an issue. So perhaps I have to take out this @ symbol right here. So just for good measure, it appends the @ symbol when you type in the domain. Do not add the @ symbol. And obviously when this is done, you'll go back and grab another 25 names, plug them in this box, repeat the process up until you get 100. I don't recall it taking this long. Another thing I should note too is once it does, there we go, once it does populate or process, we'll say, you'll have this status here So it'll say email account pending setup, and I'm not too sure what the holdback is. But as you can see, I've connected the names that I've grabbed off of this site, and I'll give you, well, maybe I'll include this link in the description somewhere of this video because it's kind of long to shout out, or maybe I'll zoom in right now so that you can see it. Victoria.tc.ca, yada yada yada. That's just where I happen to get some names for this particular video. But as I was saying, as you can see, all the email accounts are connected, so I can email through these email accounts right now. So to reiterate, we've got our 100 email accounts, which we're using to email through. Now we know that we can do through GoDaddy's economy server, which is $2.99 a month, 250 emails for each 100 account, which gives us 25K. Now, I would take it one step further and tokenize the messages in addition to tokenizing any affiliate links that you have. And what this gives you, what the whole system gives you, the whole really cool thing about the GoDaddy mailing method is that there's not a lot of costs involved, and you're not playing this game with proxies or email accounts in the sense of purchasing a bunch of Yahoo and Gmail only to have them shut down after you email through them. So the big advantage with GoDaddy's is basically two things. So the first thing with proxies and email accounts, you're not playing. I guess there's a few things. It's very inexpensive. I will write these points down. It's inexpensive. You're not playing with proxies. And you're emailing directly through White Hat servers. I know that went off the screen there. You're not being deceitful with how you're emailing. When you go through a proxy, it's a flag against you. Because you're going directly through GoDaddy servers, you are more likely to inbox because you're not hiding anything. You're not going through a proxy. You're not doing anything funny. Now, if you were to send the same message over and over, then you're likely to get flagged in addition to the same URL. So I will talk to you guys about how to tokenize messages, what tokenizing a message means in the first place, and in a nutshell, just so for all intents and purposes here, it's basically a way to make your message appear random every single time it goes out. So if you have that in conjunction with a tokenized URL, a different URL, through different email accounts, associated with the same domain, mind you, but different email accounts, spread throughout the day, you can safely do 25,000. I personally, I would keep this at about 15K per account. And we already discussed the cost. If you have an SMTP mailer, then your only costs are going to be the domain name and the hosting account, which isn't going to, it's not going to exceed $10. So if you do 15K per day at $10, $10 a month, or excuse me, the domain's going to last you a year, so $3 a month. There's no reason why you couldn't set up 10 of these. And if you had 10 times 15K, that would be 150,000. And being the good Samaritan that I am, I'm going to give you guys a copy of an SMTP mailer that will work directly through this system. So I hope everybody has the concept down. You've got a hosting account, a domain. You bulk create email accounts. You mail through them. And because you are going through directly through GoDaddy, it gives the the chances of it inboxing are much stronger because you're not doing anything deceitful, you know. But any SMTP mailer will work. When I say SMTP mailer, what I mean is a way to connect an email account to the mailer. So some of you may be familiar with DP Mailer. I'm not too sure the status of the DP Mailer. You know, I helped beta test Mail Mascot years ago when that came out, and DP Mailer was the successor with another owner, we'll say. But it did have a way to connect your email accounts directly. Mailer King is another one that you can use to connect your email accounts to. And when I say connect your email accounts, it's the same way of connecting Outlook or Thunderbird, your SMTP settings. And I think what we'll do is we'll summarize here on this one, and in the next video I will show you the script and I will show you how to go through setting up the SMTP information for GoDaddy directly to be used with the accounts that you've created so that you can bulk email your your 100 email accounts throughout the day passively. You don't want to blast a ton of emails all at once, so that you can take advantage of this system. So the next video will do that, and I will include a script, an SMTP mailer script, which will allow you to do that.